If you've ever worked in the franchise world, you know the dream, right? Every single location is a perfect, shining example of the brand just humming along and driving consistent growth. But the reality? Well, the reality is often this weird paradox. The more you grow, the more chaos you seem to create. So today, we're going to break down that exact paradox and look at an AI-driven solution designed to finally solve it.
Okay, so let's just kick things off with a question that, I'm guessing, hits really close to home for a lot of you. You add a new location, then another, then 10 more. Why does that growth, which should feel like this huge victory, so often spiral into a complete logistical nightmare of spreadsheets, inconsistent ads, and just wasted money?
And that right there, that brings us to the core concept we're unpacking. It's called the franchise marketing paradox. It's this super frustrating upside-down relationship where the bigger you get, the less control you seem to have. Your brand message gets watered down, you have no idea what's actually working, and your team is just buried under a mountain of manual work. It's a classic case of your own growth working against you.
So the big question is, how do you solve this thing? Well, first we've got to diagnose the cause. And spoiler alert, it's not about your team not working hard enough. The problem is baked right into the foundation of how franchise marketing has always been done. There are three big structural flaws.
First up is what's called the headcount trap, and this one is huge. See, traditional agencies scale by hiring more people, not by using better technology. So if you want to manage, say, 500 franchise locations, you're not really paying for ads, you're paying the salaries of maybe 20, 25 different account managers. Your budget gets completely eaten up by overhead before a single dollar even makes it to Google or Facebook.
Second, and this is the one that keeps brand managers up at night, is brand risk. When franchisees feel like they're not getting enough local support, what do? They go rogue. They hire their own local guy who uses the wrong logo, writes ad copy that's totally off-brand, or starts bidding on keywords that actively hurt your national strategy. All of a sudden, it's the Wild West out there, and your brand consistency is gone.
And finally, there's data fragmentation. You've got hundreds of separate ad accounts, all doing their own thing. There is no single source of truth. You want to know your network's overall cost per acquisition? Good luck. You are stuck in what the source material perfectly calls Excel hell, just trying to stitch together a million different reports. Making smart strategic decisions becomes practically impossible.
So this really leaves franchises at a fork in the road, doesn't it? You have the old way, massive headcount, brand chaos, and basically zero visibility into your data. But now there's a new path, one built on AI automation. It delivers guaranteed brand consistency, gathers all your data in one place, and replaces those crazy high management fees with a simple, predictable tech fee. This new path is only possible because of a complete shift in how you build the system from the ground up. This is the real aha moment. It's not just a technical fix, it's a totally different mindset, moving from trying to manage hundreds of individual accounts to managing one intelligent system using what's called a master/child architecture.
The core idea here is incredibly powerful because it's actually so simple. One master brain controlling unlimited local executions. Here's how it works. Step 1. Your headquarters team builds one single perfect master template. It's got all the approved campaigns, ad copy, keywords, the whole shebang. Step 2. The AI takes over and handles all the dynamic localization, automatically plugging in the right city names, phone numbers, and so on for each spot. And then, step 3, with a single click, you deploy that perfectly localized campaign to every single child account across your entire network, instantly.
Okay, so that's the theory. It sounds great, but how does this new architecture actually translate into real-world control for corporate, while still giving franchisees the local power they need? Let's look at the specific features that make it all happen.
It really boils down to three core features for total governance. First, centralized blueprinting. This just means you define your core strategy and your unique selling proposition one time, and it gets deployed everywhere. We've already touched on dynamic localization, where the AI customizes ads for every single town, and critically, you get compliance guardrails. Imagine being able to globally block a word you hate, like cheap, from ever appearing in any of your ads across all accounts instantly. That's total brand compliance, completely automated. Here's a perfect, really simple example of how that dynamic localization works in practice. The master ad copy might say, best plumber in city. The AI sees that a specific child account is for a location in Austin, and bam! The ad automatically transforms to read best plumber in Austin. It does the same for Dallas, for Miami, for Seattle, for every single location, instantly, without a human ever touching it.
The result of all this isn't just a more efficient marketing department, it's a fundamental transformation of what that department even is. You finally get to move away from the old reality of chaos and firefighting and into a new reality where you operate from a strategic command center. And this is what that command center view actually looks like. No more Excel hell. This is the headquarters dashboard, your single source of truth. You can see your total global ad spend, your network-wide ROS, that's return on ad spend, total conversions, and how many stores are active. For the first time ever, you have the unified, top-level, real-time data you need to make actual strategic decisions.
And the impact on performance is just as clear. The data from the source material shows an 80% reduction in all those manual, repetitive tasks that used to suck up all your team's time. And what happens when you automate all that grunt work and enforce best practices everywhere? Well, performance jumps. In this case, we're talking about an average 35% increase in return on ad spend across the whole network. That's a huge lift.
So the ultimate benefit here is this total evolution of what your marketing team does. It stops being this reactive cost center that's just trying to put out fires and handle franchisee requests. It becomes a proactive, strategic command center that actually drives measurable growth and protects the brand you've worked so hard to build.
And that really leaves us with one final thought to take away from all this. I want you to look at your own organization, at your own systems. Is your marketing team stuck in that old paradigm operating as a cost center? Or have you given them the tools and the architecture they need to become a true command center? It's something to think about.